Episode 4 of Heartland Season 19 delivered a perfect blend of heart-stopping drama and heartwarming emotion, the kind that keeps longtime fans coming back. This week's episode took us high into the skies and deep into the emotional connections that define the Heartland family. From Caleb's near-tragic flight to unexpected moments of growth back at the ranch, the episode captured the essence of what makes Heartland so enduring: love, resilience, and family in all its forms. The episode opened right where last week's cliffhanger left us, Caleb's plane sputtering mid-air as he flew Nathan back from Pike River after Nathan's father's accident. The tension was palpable as the two braced for the worst. In a moment that spoke to Caleb's quick thinking and nerves of steel, he managed to bring the plane down safely in an open field. But safe didn't mean rescued. They were stranded in the middle of nowhere with limited supplies, a dying radio, and a growing sense of unease. Back at Heartland, Amy and Ashley learned about the downed plane from Dale, the rancher whose horses Amy had been helping. Dale initially promised to send a rescue helicopter, but redirected it to another emergency, forcing Amy and Ashley to take matters into their own hands. Despite Dale's doubts that the horses were ready for such a demanding task, the two women saddled up and set out into the wilderness. Meanwhile, Caleb and Nathan's situation grew more complicated by the minute. After Caleb accidentally drained the radio battery overnight and Ashley had removed the extra water supply earlier, things went from bad to worse. The presence of a nearby bear added another layer of tension. Despite Caleb's insistence that they stay near the plane, Nathan's restlessness got the better of him. He wandered off in search of water, only to get injured. What followed was a fascinating exploration of two strong-willed men forced to depend on each other when they least wanted to. Nathan, still bristling over Caleb's closeness to Amy, couldn't resist poking at old insecurities, even accusing both himself and Caleb of living in Ty's shadow. Caleb, never one to back down, fired back, telling Nathan he worried too much about everything. Their dynamic, half-rivalry, half-reluctant respect gave the episode some of its best dialogue. But as Nathan's injury worsened, the bravado faded. In true Heartland fashion, adversity became the bridge that brought them closer. They began to rely on one another, their mutual frustrations softening into understanding. By the time Amy and Ashley finally found them, the two men had gone from competitors to comrades. Amy and Ashley's rescue journey was just as symbolic as it was physical. The horses they rode were skittish and uncoordinated, much like the strained relationships among the humans they mirrored. Amy's realization that the horses needed to work side by side rather than separately became a beautiful metaphor for how people heal through teamwork and empathy. Along the way, viewers got a glimpse into Ashley's life since her last appearance. Now a mother of several kids, she confessed that her second marriage had ended after her husband's infidelity. Her insecurities, especially her doubts about Caleb, stemmed from those old wounds. By the end of the ride, Ashley seemed to recognize that Caleb wasn't the problem. Her unresolved fears were. Amy's steady leadership, Ashley's vulnerability, and Caleb and Nathan's reconciliation brought multiple storylines full circle in one deeply satisfying sequence. Back at Heartland, Jack was having his own kind of adventure, trying to train his new ranch hand, Dex. From the moment Dex arrived, it was clear he was out of his depth. He didn't know how to ride, couldn't tell one end of a horse from another, and seemed better suited for city life than ranch work. Lisa and Lou shared knowing laughs, betting Dex wouldn't last a week. Things only went further south when Dex announced he needed to head into town for an appointment, promising to return later. It seemed like another flaky excuse until we learned the truth. While Dex was out, the story intertwined with Katie's. She was preparing for a night out with her new rodeo friends and struggling with what to wear. Her anxiety was relatable and endearing, a reminder that growing up, even a family like Heartland's, comes with its own battles. With a bit of encouragement from her parents, Lou and Peter, and a new instant camera from Lou, Katie decided to go as herself. The evening turned out far better than she expected, fun, freeing, and full of laughter. But the night took an unexpected turn when Dex appeared at the same saloon, drinking and trying to impress his friends on a mechanical bull. Katie's unimpressed reaction hinted at possible future friction or maybe something more. When she later found Dex staggering along the road, insisting on returning to help the old guy, the moment felt like a deliberate echo of when Ty once found Amy on the roadside, a subtle nod to Heartland's legacy of second chances. The next morning, Jack finds Dex asleep in a horse stall and nearly loses his temper until he discovers the truth. Dex's appointment had been a medical exam related to an old hockey injury. The results confirmed that his dream career was over. Jack's sternness melted into empathy, and what began as frustration turned into mentorship. It was one of those classic Heartland moments where compassion quietly replaced judgment. The episode wrapped up with a feel-good family hang scene, the kind that perfectly encapsulates Heartland's spirit. Jack wanted the family to reconnect by hand-gathering hay bales, a nod to simpler times. What began as a modest effort by Jack, Lisa, and Dex soon grew into a family affair as Peter, Lou, and Katie joined in. Even Nathan, still nursing his injury, insisted on helping Amy. It was the kind of ending that felt earned, small, warm, and deeply human. Nathan's inclusion in the family activity hinted at his gradual acceptance into Heartland's inner circle, while Dex's redemption gave the episode a hopeful finish. Episode 4 of Heartland Season 19 was everything fans love about the series, a story about the stakes, forgiveness, and the ties that bind. The plain storyline brought the action, but the real weight came from the relationships: Amy and Ashley's evolving friendship, Caleb and Nathan's reluctant brotherhood, and Jack's growing bond with Dex. It was an episode about learning to trust again in people, in fate, and in yourself, and that's what Heartland does best. It reminds us that no matter how far we fall, there's always someone ready to help us stand back up.